Godzilla Final Wars vs. Kong is not what some of you think. Both are some of the sauciest titans to ever touch the screen, but they either get glazed to the sun or they get downplayed to the abyss. So what happens if we give them their fair dues and see how they stack up against one another? Will Kong win his first GVK, or will Final Wars remain king? Well, your host, KC2000, will go over their stats and their feats to determine the true winner. But before we begin, what are you doing? Subscribe, my friend. We are nearly at 2K subscribers. That's like over 5 people. And if you do subscribe, I will give you a brand new Lamborghini. So make sure you comment, hey, where's my Lamborghini at? And 1,000,000% I will send you one. No cap. Having to watch his entire family get blicked and grow up on Detroit Island, Kong became one of the strongest titans in the monsterverse, defeating alpha titans like Kamazotz, dominating the Hollow Earth titans, and challenging and putting up a fight against the king himself. But how impressive are these feats? The monsterverse planet Earth ain't the same as the real world, possessing a world within the world known as the Hollow Earth. In order to enter this landscape, you would have to endure a planet's worth of gravity. Kong dives into these portals like they're some pools, and he's perfectly fine afterwards. To endure this energy, Kong would need multi-continental amount of durability, but this is lightweight for him. He later finds his own magical weapon, the axe. The axe can absorb Godzilla's atomic breath and possibly amplify said attack. Mind you, Godzilla's atomic breath was able to go through the Earth's crust like Rod Wave a buffet. This feat has many calculations, but if you include subatomic scaling, it can reach small planet to planet levels of energy. But bruv, you can argue Kong to be even more powerful than that. The Hollow Earth portals are stated to be similar to Godzilla's energy. The Monarch Legacy of Affair claims these portals are similar to gamma ray bursts. Calculations for this are in the dwarf star ranges, and the boy Kong was able to cut into Godzilla's hide, causing him pain, and later knock down Godzilla with the axe fully charged. And my man's D1 performance doesn't stop there. Godzilla trained and powered up into his new evolved form, now being more dense and more durable and powerful. This can either be bigger than 2 times or 20 times more powerful, which would increase his dwarf star scaling to 86 to 860 Ronatons. So now Brody has powers similar to even larger and more powerful dwarf stars. But Kong himself also upgraded his drift. Now rocking a rolly, his strength went up, his defense went up, and his money went up. And it paid off with Kong launching Evolved Godzilla off the ground, stunning him with the blows of lefts and rights and making Godzilla remix his own roar. Considering the power gap Evolve has to his base, this is really impressive. When it comes to speed, Kong isn't a slouch either. He consistently reacts and blocks Godzilla's atomic breath, the same atomic breath being made of radiation that travels at relativistic speed. Mechagodzilla, a ChatGPT version of Godzilla, can blitz the atomic breath at 2 times the speed of light. Yet, Kong, while weakened and tired out, was still able to get the jump on Mechagodzilla, likely making Kong 2 to 4 times the speed of light. To further support this, Scar King was dancing around Kong, making bro look around like he's a Kermit meme, but later Kong was able to keep up with Scar King and get the jump on him, meaning Kong's combat and reaction speeds increases over time or adapts with his opponents. And as for his hacks and special abilities, and as for his battle IQ, okay, he does have some hacks, mostly through his weapons. The axe can harness subatomic energy, the beast glove has electricity manipulation, and the resistances to extreme temperatures like absolute zero. But his skills and battle IQ is Kong's strongest assets. Just like Batman, if you give him prep time, he can set up traps for his opponents, and that gives him the leg up on them. He's highly adaptable, using his environment no matter where he is to his advantage, and even adapting to his opponent's fighting styles, even if they're completely foreign to him. Kong uses human-like martial arts combat, throwing out haymakers, elbows, grips, weapons, bait his opponents into attacks, and more. I'm just gonna say it, I strongly believe Kong has the best battle IQ in the monsterverse. So Final Wars, be wary, you got quite the fighter in your corner. Final Wars.
It was perfect.
Where do I even begin?
Perfect.
He brings sight to the blind. He brings hope to the hopeless. He brings... I glaze this guy enough. Let me lock in. In the Ankh Ages, Final Wars survived the Oxygen Destroyer, a weapon that atomizes things and generates multi-continental energy. Final Wars also two-shot a Gigan, a being who can destroy Atlantis, another multi-continental feat. But he can be argued more powerful with multiple statements implying he's a planetary threat. Even with the cap the Exilians pulled about Gorath, the humans believed they could destroy that oncoming planet, which they didn't believe they could destroy Final Wars Godzilla, meaning he might be more powerful than a hypothetical Gorath. Gorath, making Final Wars a planetary threat in base. But my glorious king don't stop there. Once he fought Kaiser Ghidorah, we were convinced we were watching bro's funeral. But with some shonen protagonist help, he levels up to Heavenly Final Wars and beats the bricks out of Kaiser Ghidorah, sending him to outer space to be eviscerated. Calcs for this can also reach planetary, but with some context that Kaiser Ghidorah is a cosmic powered being, this could mean far worse. Some definition of cosmic is inconceivably vast, meaning if you take Final Wars being a large planet, Kaiser should power gap base Final Wars so wide you might as well call it the Red Sea. So an argument for Dwarf Star to Star level is not unreasonable to argue. Maybe even higher, but it will require stronger proof. To add consistency to this, other cosmic class kaijus are Star level, so Kaiser is on to something. Yet Heavenly Final Wars can one-shot him. Speed-wise, Final Wars sees Gorath meteor in slow-mo, the regular speed being relativistic, but including a perception of this meteor, Final Wars jumps to several times the speed of light. Abilities and hacks. He's similar to most Godzillas, with an special ability to adapt to his opponents even if they're more powerful than him, with a resistance to subatomic weaponry and likely possessing subatomic hacks himself. He's noted as an exceptional martial artist, showcasing great boxing skills and smart plays like baiting Monster X into an attack. He can fight and outwit multiple opponents at once, and he can even play soccer. There's no question why Final Wars is the deadliest weapon on Earth. But now we come to the fight. Fight takes place in Hong Kong, where Kong finds Final Wars instead of Monsterverse, and the battle begins. Kong and Final Wars will have an aura off, trying to flex who loses the Monsterverse Godzilla the worst, and then they'll charge at each other. Kong wrestling and sometimes physically overpowering a stronger Godzilla, he can grip Final Wars in a chokehold and hit him with a Mario spike and one-shot him. While planetary to large planet is very impressive, Kong being able to harm opponents in the Dwarf Star ranges would mean he power gaps Final Wars immensely. Or if Final Wars chooses not to charge in, but rather spam his atomic breath or dodge Kong's attacks, he can survive. He speed gaps Kong horrifically bad, that it might almost be impossible for Kong to land a blow. So Final Wars can slowly do chip damage to Kong, but it might take so long Kong will become old enough to be a Jake Paul opponent. But all it takes is for Kong to land one single solid hit. So in base, for the most part, I would give it to Kong. Main difficulty is the hard speed gap. Well, there is another way base Final Wars can defeat Kong.
When I die, I'ma go to Snow Bunny Heaven. When I die, I'ma go to Snow Bunny Heaven.
But if the fight included Heavenly Final Wars, it completely reverses. Now Final Wars with star level to possibly higher AP, he one-shots Kong. And with that monstrous speed gap, there's literally nothing Kong can do to save himself. So with all the amps, Final Wars wins low difficulty. But what do you guys think? Do you agree or disagree with the battle? Or do you think Final Wars can win in his base form? Or maybe you think Kong could clutch up against Heavenly Godzilla? Be sure to tell me about those win cons in the comments. And please, 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 I'm begging, subscribe. Almost at 2K subscribers. We'll follow that out of the way. I'll catch y'all later.